Hey everybody. Hey, sorry I'm recording from my car. I'm just on my way to a funeral real quick. But I wanted to talk about discipleship. Last night in youth group we talked about discipleship. Here's the passage that I used, and you can go ahead and turn there. You can pause the video and get there if you like. But Mark chapter 6, verses 7 to 13, and then verses 30 onward. There are two accounts there, and you may be familiar with them. The first one is when Jesus sends out the disciples, right? He sends out his disciples. He tells them, don't take anything with you. I think Pastor Nathan talked about this a few weeks ago. Don't take anything with you. Don't take money. Just take your walking stick and the clothes you're wearing on your back. Go into all these towns and tell the towns about me. Tell them that the Messiah has come. Tell them about the miracles. Tell them that God is fulfilling prophecy. So the disciples go out. They go from town to town. They preach the message. They tell people about what Jesus had been doing. And then they come back. And when they come back, they start telling Jesus all the wonderful things that they had done. And something I'd never noticed in the text before this time of studying it is that the story transitions into this crowd that's 5,000 men plus women and children, and it says they're from all kinds of towns, not from the local town nearby. They're from towns all over. Why is that? You know what I think happened? I think these people got excited about the message that the disciples had given. Disciples went from town to town to town, preaching about Jesus, telling people that the Messiah, the one that they'd been waiting for, had finally come. And people were excited about that. And they said, hey, I want to come meet him. I want to come see him. I want to see these miracles for myself. So then the story transitions. Jesus and the disciples, they're overwhelmed. They can't even tell their stories of what's going on. So they get in a boat, head to the other side. What's the crowd do? Circles around, heads them off, beats them there. Jesus sees them and he takes pity on them. He says they're like sheep without a shepherd. And so he starts preaching. And the day goes on and it starts getting late, and the disciples say to Jesus, hey, you got to send everybody home. It's late, and tell them go. Then they can go to the nearby farms. They can buy some food and get some rest for the night. Jesus says, no, you feed them. If you're probably almost definitely familiar with this story, right? Oh, there's no food. How would we feed them? Go gather what you can, the fish and the bread. Jesus performs a great miracle. Here's the contrast between these two stories. On one end, you have the disciples. Disciple means, by the way, like pupil or learner. You have these pupils, these learners who follow Jesus around learning. How did they learn? They learned, of course, through observing, through his teaching, right? A lot of the times he would actually sit and teach, but sometimes, and in fact, I would say most of their learning probably actually just came from watching. How should we teach poor people? Well, you watch. Jesus treated them so well. He treated them with love and respect. How about sick people? Jesus cared about them and he took time out and he healed people. How do I do this? How do I do that? What do we do here? What do we do there? Jesus showed them by doing, and then he sent them out to do for themselves. These were his disciples. These are the people who were fully committed. And then you have these 5,000 people who are excited to hear. But then as we move through scripture toward the execution of Jesus, where did these 5,000 go? That should have been the birth of a great movement, right? 5,000 people throughout Israel, all gathered to this one spot around the Sea of Galilee, ready to hear Jesus' messages. And did they get disappointed? Did they not hear? No, he stopped. He taught them. And did they get to see any miracles? Yeah, they got to see a miracle of him turning not just a little bit of food into just enough. He turned this little tiny bit of food, these few little fish, these few little loaves of bread, turns them into so much food that they wind up gathering more food back than they handed out. People got to see the Son of God do what the Son of God does. So, hey, the birth of a great movement. Jesus didn't send them away, but the fact of the matter is, eventually, they went away. They went back to their homes. They went back to their lives. They went back to their jobs. The difference between a disciple and an observer is whether you're in it, whether you're committed. Are you committed to the Lord? Are you really in it? Here's what Jesus says about it. He says it in John chapter 10. He says, "My disciples, my sheep, know my voice, and they come when I call." Are you a disciple of Jesus Christ? Are you all in? Or are you just here for the, hey, I heard something great's happening. I heard something cool is going on. I want to know about it. Hey, that's all right. Come and know. Fact of the matter is, some people stick around when they spend some time with Jesus. Not even just the people who followed him around from day to day. I think about like Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, the brother and sisters trio. They wind up being close, intimate friends with Jesus. Jesus was willing to do that with people. He was interested in doing that with people, right? The rich man that Jesus came across that said, "What must I do?" Jesus literally invited him to be one of his disciples. Sell what you have, give it to the poor, and come with me. Could have been one of the disciples, could have been an apostle. But Jesus asked too much. Jesus asks for everything you are and everything you have. Will you be a disciple, or will you be an observer? I hope you'll be a disciple. I hope that I continue to be a disciple. I try to follow Jesus. I try and constantly give him all that I have and all that I am. Hope to see you soon at youth group, and until next time, have a wonderful week. If you've been coming to Bible study, just know there's no Bible study this week because it's April vacation. Have a great week and have a blessed week. Bye.